I got a bunch of shit here that you wanted to talk about.
Yes.
First of all, your kid's birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a guy, an old guy who is at a roller skating party, and he's by himself, and he's roller skating.
He was like Santa Claus's younger brother. Because he was in his early 60s, Santa Claus look, just a little bit more trimmed.
Right. So eccentric or child predator? Go.
Child predator. You know what? I maybe take that back. Okay.
What?
Okay, maybe it was eccentric because he never once went around any of the kids.
True.
He was wearing weightlifting gloves.
I don't understand that. Like, what do you got weightlifting gloves on for?
And he was doing tricks.
Like, what kind of tricks?
Okay, so maybe not child predator.
There has to come a point in your life when you get to a certain age where you just don't give a fuck. Like, who cares? He has to know that he looks like a child predator. He has to know.
I didn't see a ring.
So
but then again, he had weightlifting gloves on.
Right, but he doesn't care. Is that weightlifting gloves, or does that help him like strangle his victims better? I don't know. But at that point, you just don't give a fuck what people think about you.
And he had different clothes. Like, he had like normal clothes on this time. Most of the time, he's wearing short shorts.
He's a regular.
Oh, because what did Nicole say? Nicole said that whenever we talked about it, she said he's been in here every single time we've been here. And we've been going to that roller rink for 4 years now.
See, he's just an eccentric old dude who probably would like to skate when he was younger, and he just keeps the skate thing going on.
Does he have a van?
Maybe. I don't know.
Blacked out windows?
Could be.
Probably.
Well, speaking of old guys, and there has to be an age at where you just don't care who sees your balls. It doesn't matter. It can be a 30-year-old. It can be a 5, a 6-year-old saying, "Daddy, look at that guy's balls. They're gross." At some point, at some age, you just don't care. I'm not comfortable with my wife seeing my balls, and I'm only 40, and they're in good shape. So why is it you were at, where is it, the Y?
Oh, okay. So this brings up a bigger point, and I think that there has to be something that's done in locker rooms that has to change. Because the YMCA, when you go to the YMCA, there are a lot of old people that don't give a fuck. Just don't give a fuck. Okay, so the YMCA that I go to is the one on Augusta, and I was with my kids. One thing I'm not going to do, I'm not going to bring my kids into a locker room, because the first thing they're going to do is they're going to start pointing at old men with their balls hanging out and say, "Daddy, look at his nuts." You don't want to do that, because your kids it's going to be brutal. So I brought them to a different restroom, and then I put them in the child care thing or whatever, the kids area. And then I go back in there, and you get the towels. You know the towels like that. Hey, you want to wipe off your sweat? You take a shower. You have towels right there. It makes it very convenient for you. So I walk back in there because I'm about to change so I can go work out. And this motherfucker is sawing it off. He's got both ends of the towel.
So he's doing this move?
I mean, like sawing. This motherfucker was sawing it in half. He was using that towel, which, by the way, those towels are like sandpaper. Right. And he was just fucking going at her. Just tearing that shit up.
And who came up with that move, by the way? Because even with a soft towel, that doesn't feel good.
It's not great.
No.
It's not good.
No.
And then he had to get it extra dry, so he used like the hand dryer, and he had to point that at his unit. He had to get that on his package.
He's an old guy who doesn't care.
And at that point, I took my towel that I'd got in the front desk, and I looked, and I thought that there's no way I'll ever fucking use one of these towels again. All right. Because I just feel like there's shit in the towel.
No. I told you that they bleach those.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't
matter.
All right.
Fuck no. Look, you drop a piece of food on the table, they clean the table. You gonna eat it if it just is a scummy place? You're gonna fucking eat that piece of food that fell on the table? Well, if you're in a shitty place?
If they cleaned it with bleach, I mean, it's clean. Bleach kills everything, dude.
No.
Yes, it does.
I told you too that I saw in my towel there was a stowaway hair in that towel.
That could've
If
came
a
from
hair
anywhere.
can make it through, shit from the saw can make it through.
All right, well.
It's fucking gross. You don't do that. You don't abuse a fucking towel like that.
I had a
that
guy-
other people are going to use on their face.
Oh, yeah. Well, look, I had a guy when I was a kid. I was in high school, and there was a small gym in my town in South Louisiana. And one of my this girl in my class, her dad was working out there. And I don't remember a lot of stuff. Just my memory sucks, and drugs and alcohol in the early 20s. But
And the priest raping you.
But I remember this still to this day. This girl in my class, her dad was at the gym, and he had worked out. He got out the shower, and he was like this. Okay, so this is the bench, all right, and I'm sitting down right there putting my shoes on. He came up to me like this. Hey, how's it going? Everything good? And he is like trying.
Was he bouncing?
I mean, yeah, it was like, and all I can remember, because I tried to block it out, but all I can remember is that was one of my first times ever seeing like a grown man naked, because I didn't even see my dad naked. And that guy had the smallest dick ever, because it barely poked out of his gigantic, bush down there. So, but I still remember that. I'm just like, dude, you're sitting there drying, and how times are different. Like what? And he was probably only our age at the time. Would you ever go up to a young high school boy drying your nuts off, like right in his face? No.
I mean,
so now,
just a few years ago, this guy that I knew from the gym, he walked in, or he was there talking to me about beer, and he didn't have a towel on. He was just like naked, and I could not make that conversation end.
Oh.
It was a 30-minute talk with his dong, because I was looking at his face the whole time thinking, just cover up, because I felt so. I don't like to have a conversation with somebody whenever they're naked.
And a lot of people will say, and it's different for
in
women.
a locker room.
It's different for women because they can talk to each other while they're naked, and it's not about us being like, oh, you're just not comfortable in your sex. I'm very comfortable in my sexuality. Okay, I'm not. If you're gay, it doesn't bother me in the least bit. All right, whatever makes you happy, but there is under no circumstances where I'm going to be comfortable talking to a guy when he's drying his unit off in my face. I'm sorry.